Now, Mr. Gravett.
Transaction must be.
Must be a new season.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
It is.
And a great start to it as well.
Yeah. Right, I'd like to talk to you about Donington first. If we could sort of go through the 3 races, because we're trying to do it when we talk to our favourite 3. Well, it's favourite 2 now, because obviously Max has gone into...
Yeah, I know, I'm gutted.
So
I sent him a message last night. I don't know if you know, but obviously you do, but Max Coates has gone over to the Porsche Caymans this year.
Over to the dark side.
Well, I don't know about that. I think it's a light side. I'm really pleased for him because it's a big step in his career, and he deserves it like 100%. And he's performing really well. Like Donington, he had some. I think he had a podium, but it's weird. Like this is the first like JCW Token meeting that he's not been in. I'm gutted. I sent a message last night saying, mate, like what?
Almost your wingman, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
like
I was his wingman.
Maverick
I was his
Goose.
wingman. Yeah, I was very much Maverick. No, he was. No, I was.
So yeah, Donington first race.
Yep.
Dry shop, was it the first?
Well, let's go back a bit further to that.
Right, yes.
I hadn't driven the car prior to Donington.
You hadn't tested at all?
No, hadn't tested. Branch GP was the last time I drove the car, so yeah, we were right in the deep end, but I've been on the sim, and I've got quite a big belief system in place now that means that I don't really think that I need to test, really, because I've done enough time in these cars to know what they do, how they handle, what they do when you do that, whatever. So actually, when it comes to testing, it's not really necessary. You know, we can do sort of a handful of laps and know kind of where we are and whatever. You know, the only downside to not testing pre-season would be going to Donington round 1 and getting 2 red flags in FP1, FP2. Thankfully, that didn't happen, so we got enough running. So, I mean, to go to Donington and be P6 in FP1, I think it was, straight off the bat, and then P4 and FP2 was like, right, okay, fair enough. We are right there, like, right there.
There's a couple of you who are really sort of from last year. You've sort of stepped up. You can physically see there's a Lydia obviously and yourself. There's that.
There is a step. Yeah, you can clear.
You've got onto that.
Absolutely. And the thing is with these cars is that you know some drivers get in and go quick straight off the bat. I think if you're given a good package and you're a good driver, I think you can jump in them and go quickly for sure. Absolutely. For myself, I hadn't always had that perfect package. Now with Accelerate, we now have a really, really good car. I mean, they know what they're doing. It's as simple as that. They go, that's your race car, Brad, go and drive it. And any time is either going to be a tweak here or there, or it's in your driving. And I think as a race driver, when you're at this level and you don't have the opportunity to test endlessly, you have to maximize every moment that you get in the car. So you have to make the most of it, and you have to do what you need to do in a very small number of laps. And I think that's
it's a cost as well, you see, isn't it? That's the thing.
Well, it's not even
in their small laps. You're having to pull it out of the bag.
Exactly. The cars are like touring cars. You know, everything is lifed on the car. Everything is very delicate on the car. It's a performance machine. The more you use it, the slower it becomes. The slower it becomes, and we've got to spend on it. It's as simple as that. And you know, we driving around and doing, you know, several days testing pre-season is just completely unnecessary. We just don't need to do that. I've been in the car, I know what it does, I know how it handles, I know how to drive it. So there's no real reason to do all that stuff.
You know, the little things where it's going to surprise you and you can read it before it.
Exactly. And I think with Accelerate, certainly some of those things that I've perhaps had in the past, those surprising, you know, moments in the car, don't tend to happen now. Okay, probably driving slightly better, I would say, but actually I think the car itself is very well set up. There's no doubt about it. I mean, it's just a dream to drive, really. It's just, you know, it's Larry, yeah, don't get me wrong, but it's progressive. It's not trying to kill you all the time. And I think if you get in a car that is not necessarily set up to the best of it that it could be, then you can get some serious issues from a driver. And of course, if you don't ever see outside of that, if you don't get in a car that's quick enough and stable enough to know what it handles like, you're just going to think the cars are like that. So I think from my perspective, I think we've made all the right choices over the past, 3.5 years, really. 4 years, and I think we're in a really strong place, to be honest.
So you're still working with Ian?
Yeah, big time. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, to be honest with you,
we'll get on to that in a minute. We're jumping the gun.
I'm desperate to talk about Ian and thinking about it. I can't wait.
Right, the second race at Donington.
Yeah.
How did we fare there?
Well, we didn't do race 1 yet. So race 1.
Oh, right, sorry, yeah.
Yeah. We only got FP jumping ahead. So we qualified P6. Yeah. It was a bit fractured, the qualifying. There was a lot of red flags. There's 3 red flags in quali, which was unfortunate, but managed to string a lap together and put it on P6, which was good. Off the line, straight into P4 by turn 1. Chasing down Joe Tanner for 10 laps. putting him under pressure, waiting for him to make a mistake, which he didn't. All credit to him. Incredible defensive driver, really quick as well. Just the chassis just didn't have the pace that we had, and just on him, putting him under pressure. He's working his tyres, just waiting for that one moment, and I think it was just about to happen, and crunch. Yeah, the car unfortunately, curbs at Donington are very aggressive, and you got to use every inch of the circuit, and I just think it was, I think perhaps I was just a little bit too, firm on the curbs, let's say, and I think it just put a little bit too much tension through the drivetrain, and it just popped. And it was frustrating. Yeah, that's an understatement. I mean, that was my first. It's a lifetime's worth of work. I kid you not. I've never stood on a podium, never had a proper trophy, and I'm in P4 at the top of British Motorsport in the Support Series on the Toka paddock. I'm just about to take third place, and I've worked so hard, spent so much money, late nights. I'm there, and I know it's there. Bang. You can imagine my.
What's that like? That beautiful girl that you've been following.
I don't know about. I don't know quite about that. I don't know. That's obviously your animal. And then we were just sort of fighting through the field. Race 2 was a wet race. Not the best setup. I wouldn't have said on the car at the time. I think my choice wasn't the best decisions to make. And coming through the field, went from 21st to 13th. Made up 9 places by turn 1. Finished 13th, then race 2 got to 10th, and it was basically just safety car, yellow flag, safety car, yellow flag, safety car. And then there was an unfortunate incident between obviously Dan Zelos and Sam Smith. Sam did hurt himself, but fortunately he is okay. He's recovering. He's not here this weekend, which is a real shame. It was a big accident, so I'm just pleased ultimately that those guys walked away really from that. It was a really big one.
It was a big one, actually, to be fair.
It was, not nice to see.
Now, this weekend.
Yeah.
Done quite well, really, haven't you?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, you're doing all right.
Yeah. So, where did you quali?
P4.
P4.
So I was like floating around, like I came into the pits, right? I'm floating around in like whatever, I don't know, 11th, 12th, whatever it was.
So was that early on in the session?
No, it was quite late actually. Late? Yeah. So
I was just saying to our cameraman, I'd have done the first 4 or 5 minutes, and then come in. I wouldn't have done anymore.
Oh really? So you got to sort that out. You need to speak to him and thinking of better. He'll sort that out.
I thought can't get any quicker.
Yeah, you can always go quicker. I came in, so we went out floating around, whatever. Came in, made an adjustment, which worked really well. Went back out, and I saw my pit board late, and my engineer put out P4, and I was just like, get in, come on, like best quality I ever, like I said, best quality I've ever had. Like, not true, match my best quality. Thruxton 2020, I was 4th, but Thruxton's one of those circuits. You get a tow, you're going to be up there. So I drove really well at Thruxton, but this was a special one because Brands is technical. It's wet. I haven't had a great deal of wet driving. I've been really focusing this morning, yesterday evening about what to do with the car, how to do it, how to get the car to do what I needed to do with the wet, and that transition from wet to dry. And I think we've got somewhere quite close, to what we need to do. So is there quite
a difference between the wet setup and the dry? Is it quite soft
it's just basic wet stuff, really. You just can't stamp on the brake pedal. You can't pull the car out on the throttle. You've just got to be patient with it. And I think ultimately that's what you got to do in these cars. Ultimately. So I'm incredibly happy. I'm behind teammate Dan on the inside for turn 1. That's a pretty good place to start at Brands. I mean, mate, we're just going to
on the inside.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the first opportunity I get, I'm going to be leading the race. Like that's the game plan.
As Mary would say, though, to finish first, you got to finish though. Bradley.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not going to listen to that. No, but I'm not going to do anything stupid. We're not going to, let's see how the race plays out. I mean, I'm very confident. I'm confident that I can run right at the front. I mean right at the front. There's no doubt about it. I can win this race for sure. And obviously, because of Donington, I'm quite far down in the standings because it's round 1, so I need some solid finishes. So I'm not going to do anything stupid. I am thinking about the bigger picture. I am thinking about the championship, and that I've worked a lifetime to get to this point, and this is a really, really special time for me right now. And to be this far up in a championship as competitive as this, and actually be able to run at the front with these quick and sometimes be as quick as them, if not faster, is a very, very special feeling. You take what Dad did all those years ago, and to be close to the level that he was at is like we've done it. Like we're there. Like that's it. It's done. Like we're at the front. It's not. We're not saying desktop racing. We're not saying we did that. We'd be at the front. No, we're at the front. That's it. So it's exciting times. I'm really
So how's it? Is Ian still helping you?
He absolutely is, for sure. He's here today. Ian Travers from Thinking It Better. I give Ian a lot of credit for my change of mindset.
That is the most important thing.
It's all in your head. If you go into qualifying or a race and think I can't qualify pole or I can't win the race, you are not going to win the race. It's simple as that. Like the only way.
On a mistake,
exactly. If you drive up to a corner and think, okay, I need to, oh my God, I'm going so quick, I need to brake early, or, you know, it's scary, or whatever the words are you hear in your head, naturally, subconsciously, your body's going to react to that, and you're going to brake early, or you're going to turn in early. And ultimately, that's either going to slow you down or put you at more risk. You need to get control of that voice in your head and actually wring its neck literally and take control of that situation. And that's what Ian has helped me do so well. Not just this year, but last year. And I've been focusing a lot on my mind, what I think, how I talk to myself in my head.
It's not a quick thing, is it? It is a progression of it, you know, because you've got to train yourself to think that way and be that way. So it's not an instant thing. You can't say, oh, you've got to think.
Doesn't take long, but once you get a hold of the situation, it's just ultimately the mind is a machine, and it works in a certain way, and providing you are aware of it, you can control what you think. You can control that. It's as simple as that. Take control of it, and I mean, honestly, it's all mindset. It's not just this; it's everything. It extends.
Life in general, isn't it?
You know, I'm never going to have a successful business by myself. Well, no, you're not, because you've said it now. Change it, and then you can.
Yeah.
There's nothing. There's nothing stopping you.
Nothing you can't do.
There's nothing, literally.
Just,
It's as simple as that. And once you take control of that situation, you can understand it, and then you can, like I say, take control of it and do whatever you want. And you know,
it's good.
I've been working really hard, and it's just, you know, I'm just relaxed. You know, I'm just chilled out, relaxed. I'm with a good team in a good place, and I'm ready to go.
Just hope you do it.
Yeah, so I do it. Yeah, I'm so desperate for one of those trophies. I don't know why. I'm like gagging for one. So
no, it's, you know, you've got a bloody good chance, and I hope you get that lucid pole, because once you've got one, you see,
you've got one.
It's another.
You got a picture on the thing, so let's see. Race 1 is coming this afternoon. Let's see how we get on.
Yeah, you'll be all right.
I will be, absolutely.
Yeah. Cool. Well, thank you very much.
Thanks for having me again. It's always a great laugh, and it's always a pleasure, and good luck with the channel.
Good crack. Thank you very much.
Good luck with the race car as well. Get it finished.
Yeah, get it finished.
Thanks.
Get it out. Cheers, mate.
Cheers.
Well, don't know where Mark is. I think he must be chatting to somewhere else. We'll go and see where he is.
Well, yeah, thanks, Adam. So I've come over to this garage to talk to Jamie. Now, Jamie, tell us, your first season in Minis in the JCWs, isn't it?
Yeah, it is my first season. Just trying to sort of get used to the swing of things and how it all rolls around here.
So what have you done before the Minis?
So I started in the JSEC in 2021. Got on fairly well, got the podium my first year, moved on to a few wins sort of tail end of last year, and then decided to come to these 2023.
And how are you finding it with the Minis? Because it's a totally different animal, isn't it?
Awesome cars. It's very different to drive, and getting used to the driving style is obviously difficult, but it takes time, and we'll get there.
Yeah. Because as I say, they're not a far step away from touring cars, really, are they?
No,
like
I mean,
the speed you do.
They're labelled as the mini touring car.
Yeah. So is that kind of like, once you've done 2 or 3 seasons in the Minis, you got aspirations to be touring cars, or what are your plans?
Well, I'm not exactly aiming for touring cars, but if the opportunity arises, I wouldn't mind.
You grab it, of course you would. Of course you would. Yeah. So now you've only had one race so far, haven't you, with Snetterton?
Donington.
Do you know what? I'm glad you, because Adam corrected me this morning, because we were sitting in the car coming up here, and I've got Snetterton stuck in my head, and I was like, yeah, they did really well at Snetterton. He went Donington, and you've just done exactly the same thing. So I was just checking to see if you knew where you were racing. Yeah. But it went all right though, didn't it? It was quite a good.
Yeah,
quite a good session, and
had some issues in qualifying, started right at the tail end of the field, but it was nice to work my way through and actually get a feel for the car rather than starting right in the middle of it and being overwhelmed. So.
Yeah. But it was, first season, and we can't really ask you how the season's going because it's just one race in at the moment. But anyway, let's talk about your car and sponsorship. How have you found getting sponsorship? Because it's a dear old game getting into JCW.
It's very difficult to find sponsorship. The main sponsor on this car is obviously Smart Raft, and that's my dad's company. So
right.
Yeah, that's the main sponsor at the minute.
And of course, with your brother doing it as well, you've got 2 cars to run and 2 cars to sponsor and 2 cars to pay for, and But no, they're looking good. They're looking really good.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, great stuff. Well, I think you're about to go out to qualifying in a minute, so we'll let you concentrate on that, and we'll move over and have a chat with Daniel, see what he's got to say. Brilliant, cheers. Right, so I'm with Daniel now. Daniel, now, I've just been talking to Jamie, your brother. You're both doing the JCW Minis this year. First year.
Yeah, first year in the series. We come out from pickup trucks last year, year before last. I was racing the Classic Sports Car Club last year. Jamie in the junior saloons last year. So yeah, no, it's been a big step up.
What made the two of you decide, or what made you decide to come into the JCW Minis?
Ultimately, the competitiveness of the racing is what drew us in. I had a year last year in mixed class racing, and that sort of weren't for me really. So I wanted to get back into a single make series, and get back on a real tight grid, which is what these are. And
how are you finding it now? Is it good? Is it suiting you? Or
yeah, it's really good. It's a hell of a learning curve. With running the cars and learning how to drive front wheel drive compared to rear wheel drive, and that, it's been a hell of a learning curve. But
yeah,
we're enjoying it.
They're a bit of a beast to handle, aren't they? They motor along. I mean, as I was saying to Jamie, they're I mean, you're sort of one step away from touring cars, really, aren't you? I mean, they are kind of the next, the level under a touring car.
Yeah, they're about.
And is that something that you're aspiring to do, touring cars, or?
It's a nice idea one day, but budget permitting, because we run and pretty much fund ourselves.
Yeah.
So that's a big step up in budget to go touring cars, but it'd be nice one day.
Sure.
We'll see.
Well, these are expensive enough to run, aren't they? Especially as you're trying to run two cars.
Yeah, that's the thing. You're two of everything, aren't you? To run two of them, and it's not cheap.
Yeah. But first race of the season, Donington, which was only last week or the week before.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. And how did that? Obviously, you're in a race experience. It's when you're doing all your testing and you're coming into the season, but first experience of a race in them. So how did that go?
It went pretty well. We sort of had goals of a top 15 in the first meeting, and we had one each, a top 15, and testing's all right, but you don't have any idea where you actually are, whether you're any good or not, till you get out in a crowd. And we learned a lot at Donington. We had diffs built wrong and cars set up not properly, and worked on the setup, sorted the diffs out over the weekend, and improved a lot. So coming into this weekend, I think we're in a better position than we were at Donington. But we'll find out in about an hour's time.
Good, because you got your qualifying in about an hour's time, haven't you? And then you got a race at the end of the day, haven't you? And then the two tomorrow.
That's it, mate. Yeah. We've got qualifying and a race one today, 2 races tomorrow.
Yeah, brilliant stuff. All right, okay. All right, well,
nice
good luck on qualifying.
Thank you very
to you
much.
and Jamie.
Thank you
we'll follow you through the season and see how things go. And hopefully, the next time we talk to you, you're going to have.
Hopefully we've got some more positive news.
Somewhat up in the top of
that'd be nice.
In the results.
That'd be nice.
Stuff. Okay. Right, well, let's go and find out where Adam is, because he's probably found someone else to talk to. So let's catch up with Adam.
Hello.
Hello.
How you doing?
Good. Yes. Now, Donington, how did you get on? How did you feel about it? You didn't do too bad, really, did you?
No, not too shabby,
No.
I don't think. Not for the first one.
No.
But yeah, it was, to be fair, a brilliant weekend, obviously.
Yeah.
Donington Park's just been fully resurfaced, so there was so much grip. Even in the wet, it was like it was dry. So we really loved those conditions, really. And it just went so well. We had 3 top 10 finishes, so can't really complain.
No, because it was always bad. There was always I don't know if it's an urban myth, that all the stuff coming from the planes as they go over East Midlands Airport, when it got wet, it'd always come to the surface and be all over the shop.
Yeah, I fully believe it, actually. And apparently it's like the antifreeze that they put to like wash the windscreens and stuff, and then it drips off the wings, and then it's on the track. Whether that's true or not, I don't know.
No.
But it was always really slippy in the wet.
Yeah.
But that just wasn't like that last weekend.
So what about the crane? Is it still have that stream of water coming down the middle of it when it rains?
No, because it soaked it all up.
Oh,
The
soaked
new
it all up.
tarmac was just unbelievable. So yeah, it was really good.
Okay. Corners of Donington, where were you happy and where you weren't happy?
To be fair, I think we were quite happy everywhere. It just felt so good. Like the car just felt it the best it's ever felt, really. And I don't know whether that was just the new tarmac or what it was, but we went. We had 2 pre-season test days at Donington, both in the wet. So we hadn't actually done a single. Or well, I mean, we'd done a few laps in the dry, but not really before we got there. So we didn't really know how we were going to turn out. And obviously, there's a lot of new people in the championship. But I mean, qualifying was quite messy. We had 3 red flags in qualifying, but so it got a bit stressful by the end. But no, it was it was
What
really
about
good.
the double apex? I can't remember what it's called now. Is it after McLean's? Is it double? You go up the hill and you got the double apex. What
Oh
about
yeah,
there?
the
Was
really
that-
long corner,
yeah.
but no so much grip. You
Really?
could just run everywhere. Yeah, no, it was unbelievable. Really, really good.
So first race, where did you come?
10th,
10th. Second race,
9th, 8th.
8th. But you got up to 4th in the
I
last
know.
race, didn't you? It
Yeah.
was amazing.
It was,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
you should
were
have said.
carving through 'em.
Yeah, well, we were the only car on wet tyres.
Yeah.
So,
Gamble.
Yeah, absolutely. We knew we were either going to go straight to the front or straight to the back,
Yeah.
and we went straight to the front. But unfortunately, we had such a long safety car period that allowed everyone on their slicks to warm them up to the right temperature. If it had carried on, I think we would have gone to the
So
front. But
the dry line elongated.
Just got
and
too
made it better
big.
for 'em, and if it-
Yeah, exactly. And to be fair, we were quite lucky, really. I mean, obviously a horrendous accident, but we were quite lucky that it was red flagged because we'd have gone straight to the back. So, yeah, it was quite a good result, really, considering.
So we're 9th in the championship now.
Yes.
Out of 23.
Yes.
Did you expect that?
I don't really know what to expect, really. I mean, last year was such a challenge, wasn't it? I mean, we spoke at the final round, didn't we? We didn't know.
As well. Oh.
Yeah, don't remind me.
Just absolutely hammered, weren't you? Last year? It's
Awful.
just,
Yeah, so it's actually been a really nice start to the year. Quite refreshing that we're actually in the top 10, and not just a one-off either. Like 3 results in the top 10. It's quite a confidence boost, really.
Yeah, been good. I was impressed with you at Donington, actually, to be fair.
No, thanks.
Especially coming out of Redgate. That was good.
Thank you.
Quali today, how did that go?
But not too bad. Obviously, it's pretty wet. But again, we were the only ones that went down to the assembly area on wet tyres, and then it just downpoured, and obviously everyone went onto wet, so the advantage was lost there.
Yeah.
But we went out. I think we were up to 7th, I think, at one point, and then just gradually started dropping down. And I saw on the pit board that it was P14, and I thought, on last year's standards, amazing, but on like last weekend's standards, not great. And it just kept dropping down, and I thought, oh my goodness. But we just had like no turn-in whatsoever on the car. So I came in twice, made some changes. Oh, well, I didn't make the changes, obviously Dad and Dave made the changes, went out, and then I literally had, I think, 3 minutes left on the clock, the final time, and managed to pop it on P8. But we're literally 0.3 off pole. It's ridiculous. Like 1/100th of a second have put us 2 positions up. Yeah. It's just so close.
That's it. That's positive, isn't it? It's
really good. Yeah, and you can't like do 0.3 on a stopwatch.
No.
So finding that time is just so hard.
So we're hoping carnage in the start, and you're out of it.
That would be
and
nice.
then we should be all right.
Yeah, no, that would be really good. Yeah, really good.
Yeah.
So
first 2 cold tyres rear end, they're going to end up in the gravel. So he picked up two places instantly.
Hopefully, that would be nice. But who knows? I don't know what the weather's going to do. So
are there any little nips and tricks that you use on the circuit, left foot braking anywhere in particular, or not at all, or just?
No, not particularly. I mean, to be fair, I do quite a few laps here because I work here, so it's only in the passenger seat, but it's not. So it's not the same. But it's just, I am quite familiar around here, and obviously it's a short circuit, so not too much to remember, which is why everyone's so close as well. So I do actually really enjoy this track. I never particularly used to, but I do now. So I think that helps.
It's one of my favourites, and I always call it the GP, but it's not, is it? But I think so. That and probably Alton Park and Cadwell Park, I think, are probably the real favourites.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the GP is my favourite on the calendar. So I do quite like it here.
Right, we've got some sponsors as well, haven't we? This is a new
a new venture
avenue for you, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously Carlton Cleaning on the back there, they were on board with us from about round 3 or 4, I think, last year, and they've decided to renew, which is lovely. Local to Donington Park, so we had a lot of them down at the last event. And then on the door here, Vertum Corey, which is a shipping company based in Ipswich, so obviously literally 5-minute drive from my house, which is lovely because we're right near Felixstowe Port, so there's obviously lots of stuff for them to do there.
Good colour scheme as well. We can definitely see you.
Thank you. Yeah, Hudson Group actually wrapped the car and they did a fantastic job.
Nice with the pink on. A Black Stag, they're an old sponsor as well, aren't they, or not?
Yeah, so they were on board with us at Snetterton, and then we had to invite them back because obviously we didn't race at Snetterton last year. But yeah, they're in Martlesham, so literally, and again, 5 minutes from me. But it's really nice to have the local companies on board, and then again, Carlton from last year. But yeah, I think it stands out. It's quite nice. I know I'm biased, but
you still need some more.
Yes.
Sponsorship, please.
Yes. Yeah. No, always. I mean,
you're always looking for it, aren't
exactly. Yeah. I mean, the more partners we have, the more testing we can do.
Yeah.
So the more prepared we are. Exactly.
So technically wise, you're happier now with the information you've got on how you use it and everything else, because it was a bit difficult because you hadn't got that data log in that all the bigger teams have got to refer to.
Yeah, it's still a challenge, obviously, because I mean, for example, we've not really got any wet data for this track too much, and all these other teams, they're all in the same session in the same exact conditions, so they can still compare, whereas I'm literally looking at my footage and still comparing against myself, which then just makes these results even more impressive, really, I think, because there's nothing to compare against, and we're only one of 2 teams which only have 1 car in the team. I mean, you look at Accelerate, they've got 8 cars, so that's 7 other drivers to compare against. So it is still a challenge, but I think with confidence, I think we're getting there.
Yeah, you are getting confident now, aren't you? You're really getting your head in it now, and just getting there.
Yeah, well, I think the whole of last year, the car was pretty much driving me. I was sort of a passenger. Particularly at Snetterton. But no, this year I feel a lot more like I'm actually driving it, which is quite nice.
Yeah. Oh, good. Well, we won't be here this afternoon to see it.
No.
But hopefully you do all right.
Watch it onto yourself.
Yeah. and a good result for you, and hope it just keeps, the motivation keeps going and the momentum keeps going, and
that's it.
You keep up in the top 10. That'd be really good.
Well, it's a good window to be in, really, because anyone in the top 10 can be right at the front, because obviously, accidents and whatnot, and then obviously the reverse grid tomorrow. So yeah, anything can happen.
So we'll probably catch up with you at Snetterton again.
Excellent.
So we'll have another run through of results.
Yeah.
And hopefully you'll be sort of 4th or 5th in the championship. And
oh wow!
That's going to happen. I know it's going to happen.
Yeah, okay. Well, I like the confidence. Thank you.
You've got to be confident. Yeah.
No, well, that'd be nice. Yeah.
So it's been nice catching up with you again.
Thank you,
I'm glad
Andrew.
it's going really well for you.
Thank you.
Because you deserve it. You've worked hard for it. And Mum and Dad have worked hard, and Dave, obviously.
Dodgy
Dave. He's worked very hard.
No, to be fair, I mean, we're the only family-run team here, pretty much. So it's unheard of. So yeah, I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, Mark's somewhere here, I think. Let's go and see what he's up
right
to.
there.
There he is. You couldn't
Couldn't help myself. The opportunity came and I had to take it.